Hi there, it's Jen from modernmedicinelady.com and the Empathic Woman System, and the word of the day is permission. And I have a little story to tell you, which you might find amusing. So last week, my friend Arlie and I were getting ready for the red tent bachelorette party that I was hosting. And we were at Trader Joe's, and so we had our basket filled with figs and strawberries and raspberries and lots and lots and lots of amazing flowers. I had tons of long stem red roses, and I had lilies, and I had these purple gladiolas that you can see in the background, and I had these beautiful purple roses, and I had just all kinds of amazing stuff. And so we finished our shopping and we got to the front lines, and there was this woman who was in front of us, and she was sort of looking us over and looking at the cart and everything. And she was extremely well appointed, like very well put together, like just on point, perfect sandals, perfect makeup, everything was perfect. And she was purchasing some stuff. And she just kept looking at us, and she kept sort of looking at Arlie and looking at me and sort of staring at us. So I kind of figured that, and Arlie said, "I'll tell you later." So I was like, okay, maybe she knows her. Maybe she had some kind of strange encounter with her or something. So Arlie tells me as we go out to the parking lot that apparently this woman had looked at the cashier and says to the cashier, "Is she allowed to get that many flowers?" And the cashier looks at the woman and goes, yeah, like, why not? And the thing is, when Arlie told me this, I was just floored. I was like, wow, this woman has got some kind of idea or rule that there's only so many flowers to go around in the world, and that you're only allowed to have so many flowers, or you're breaking the rules, that, you know, like anybody, there's only so much to go around. And it was such a metaphor to me of the way that we live about abundance and about our ideas and the ways that we limit ourselves and the rules we set up for ourselves about what we're entitled to, what we deserve, what we're allowed to let ourselves have. I mean, she knew nothing about why I was buying these flowers. She knew nothing about my reasons behind it. She had no information except that it freaked her out that I had a basket full of flowers and that somehow I had exceeded the limits of what was acceptable in her world. And to me, this is such an example, because it's so transparent and it's also so absurd. It's such an example of the ways that we can limit ourselves and restrict ourselves from allowing abundance in our life, and particularly allowing ourselves pleasure. And also the ways that as women, we can often restrict each other, that we can police each other, sort of that, you better not be eating that other piece of chocolate cake, because, I mean, hello, you know, you can only have one piece of chocolate cake or you're going to get fat. You know, all of these rules that are about, we're only allowed so much pleasure, we're only allowed so much delight, we're only allowed so much abundance, and we only have permission to give ourselves so much. And because this situation was just so utterly absurd, was so ridiculous, was so like, you're kidding me, right? Really? You're questioning whether she's allowed to buy this many flowers? It just points out to me the ways that we restrict ourselves, the ways that we hold ourselves back from letting ourselves have things and pursue the joys that bring us delight in the world. Because in the grand scheme of things, like, you know, a couple bouquets of flowers is not, or even like 10 bouquets of flowers is really not that big a deal. And it's such a representation of all of the things that we can allow ourselves to receive in life. So my question to you is, where are you restricting permission for pleasure and delight and abundance in your life? Where are you holding yourself back and stopping yourself from receiving something delightful and wonderful because you don't think you have permission to do it? And Are you willing to stretch your permission? Are you willing to give yourself more permission to do the things that you want to do, to ask for what you desire, to charge for what you're worth, to go after the things that would make a difference in your life and the things that bring you joy? So, what do you need to give yourself permission to have or to do or to receive?